It's a real good thing I brought a shovel. This soup is literally a 10 out of 10. Don't you agree? Mm-hmm. It's one of our favorites. Peaches. Bert, let her out. Good morning. Peaches. Peaches. Did you say good morning? Did you say good morning? Remember? No. You won't eat it. Good girl. Cold last night? Oh, you're so gorgeous. Welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. I am Jessica. I am married to Aaron, and not only is my son out of town and I have to deal with his off-grid cabin in Willow, but my husband has been called up out of town and he is unable to help me as well. So today's video features mostly the chores that they do for me, as well as some of the things I have to do for myself during the day. Aaron takes out the trash, he brings in the wood, he deals with the fires, he even lets the cow out in the morning, and I do chores a little bit later. So join us today as we get it done. You cannot spend all day laying in the hay. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Oh, we have a visitor. You want the broken egg? You want the broken egg? There you go. There you go, buddy. Currently 3 degrees. Okay, I'm at Newman's Hill, which is in Willow, Alaska, and let me just tell you, what in the world? When Aaron and I went to India, they fill people's gases at, and they call it petro, at the petro station. And we're like, no one fills your gas tank. You pump it yourself. So Aaron told me, because I have a huge hang up with getting gas or diesel on my hands, I'll pump my own, I can put on gloves and all that. But I needed to fill up the 5-gallon gas can for the generator at Caleb's cabin. And they pump your gas here. So Aaron told me, go to Newman's Hill and they will do it for you. And right behind me, there's a young guy that is just polite as the day is long. And he is pumping my gas and pumping my fuel. And so I'm gonna run in and get a tip. Almost to the cabin. It's -2, so I stopped for a hot coffee, and I will show you what went terribly wrong when I was out here yesterday, and a hot coffee if everything goes wrong again today. At least I can stay a little bit warmer. I was doing chores all morning. I was like, gosh, I'm in a hoodie and I just feel like it's brutal. And then I look in Wasilla and I'm like, it's 1 degree. That's why this is cold. Put on a coat, girl.
Well, you have a good day. Huh?
You too. Peter's running. Woohoo! Oh, thank God. Thank God. It is 55 degrees in here. And we have power. What had happened? I got here yesterday mid-afternoon because I left about 4:30 and it was 17 degrees in the cabin, and that battery cannot freeze. So the battery voltage, there's all of this. If you know anything about off-grid, I just need you to know it is not cut and dry and it is not simple. So the battery's percentage and its voltage are not matching up, and we're trying to get that reset. The battery had shut off fully charged, and which shut off the heat source here at our son's off-grid. He lives here full time. The cabin is my family's anyway. And so the voltage, which is really truly what tells us, you know, how much power we have, was full. So all of the battery, everything was full, but it had shut off, and it had been off for at least 24 hours in order to freeze it in here, and the battery was registering 13 degrees. So I called All Off Grid, read him the numbers, told him the situation, and he said, I'll be there in 40 minutes. He ran straight out, and him and I sat in here freezing yesterday as he literally reset everything. Had to take the battery off, take all the outside pieces off of it, unplug, reset, turn everything on. Something had shorted or spazzed out, and there was a setting in this inverter that was telling the battery when it was full to shut off. So, long story short, we went from 17 degrees in this cabin to now sitting at 55 degrees, and we have 53.6 volts going on between that and the battery. They're reading the same, and we don't charge until we're at 51.2. So I'm not going to have to come out here until tomorrow, and then tomorrow we'll fill up the generator and run this for 3.5 to 4 hours to fully charge the battery, and hopefully it's recycling and figuring everything out. But we didn't have to run the generator yesterday. We nearly froze to death, and now everything is working great. So praise God, I get to go home. I'm back home now. I forgot that I was recording what I'm doing, so I will get up and get back to work. I walked in and I was actually returning some emails for the YouTube channel. So I got one of our homegrown chickens out of the deep freeze last night, and I've let it defrost, and I wasn't sure. I thought about maybe roasting it off and then making some broth out of it, and I thought, you know what? What would be simple is if I just make broth out of it and then use the chicken and make some beautiful things for dinner. So I'm just giving it a really good rinse, because I don't want, if there's anything on here icky, I don't want that in my broth. We're gonna pop in this broth because it's all gonna have an Asian influence. I'm gonna do half of a lime. It'll give off its juice. A whole small onion, big chunks so I can fish these out later. I took a nub of ginger, sliced that in half, a couple of cloves of garlic, and then about half of a jalapeno, some salt, I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the vegetable prep while the chicken cools enough that I can shred it up. So I'm starting out with a carrot. I just want to peel it and then put a really nice dice on it. I'm gonna run my knife through a couple pieces of celery. The rest of this jalapeno. A white onion. Hang on. You can talk, I'll just voice over.
No, I can't.
This is exactly why you get voiceover videos, because you may see me doing one thing, but my family is in the background, and I am a wife and mom first and a YouTuber after that. Everything you see on this plate, the scallions, the limes, the cilantro, are all going to be toppings for this soup. They will be put on the soup after it's cooked fresh. So Cody's here and she's telling me I'm asking her how she likes these, and she does not like them cooked in the soup. She likes them on top and crunchy. My son just called. I gotta go get him from school. Let's go. All right, load me up, buddy. I had promised y'all this recipe back when I was doing souping with friends in November. I'm going down with a little bit of sesame oil into the pan right here on the wood cook stove. We're just gonna make dinner right where it's already preheated. I am freezing from going out and getting wet, so perfectly warm. I'm gonna throw into that, gonna crush up some cloves of garlic. As well as I'm going to grate this nub of fresh ginger. This is also how we make pho at our house. We make the broth and then we'll pour it over pasta. You can do this as like homemade good, delicious ramen. There is an infinite uses for this soup. As soon as those start to get a little color on them, because we do not want them burning, we're gonna go down with the vegetables. We're gonna hit the veggies with a little salt. And a little pepper. What we're not looking to do is what we typically do, which is kind of cook everything down because we're making like, say, a homemade chicken noodle or something like that. On these soups, they're a thinner broth and a lighter colored broth with deep, rich flavors, but the vegetables are crisp and fresh as opposed to like a low and slow, fully cooked. So see, that's a kind of a light colored chicken broth. More similar to something you would find in the store. And then you could just use store-bought chicken broth for this. I went ahead and threw all the chicken, the bones, and the fat, the skin back in here, and I'm gonna cook this down into a bone broth overnight while we have our light colored chicken broth soup going over here. So waste not, want not. This will make a fantastic soup later. Our soup is already simmering in literally no time flat, and I'm gonna come in with the lid and I'm gonna let it go for about 15 minutes. Oh, nice. All right, let's season it up with some hoisin sauce. You get this in the Asian food section at the store. Good couple of tablespoons. And some soy sauce. You can use coconut aminos if you don't care for soy. And I reserved the chicken for 2 meals. One, I'm gonna do a fried rice tomorrow, but tonight, half of the chicken goes in. This is where you could decide to boil pho noodles, or you could do ramen noodles, whatever. And I just used some store packaged, already made miniature wontons. And then I make Cody a 3-minute egg, but I like my yolks fully cooked. Well, no, you could save one if you wanted. You're gonna do all three. All right, how do you fix yours?
With whatever you cut up.
Choy. Green scallions, green onion, cilantro. And then what's that? That's your favorite, huh? Garlic chili. You put a little more hoisin on yours.
Yell at me if I...
No one's gonna yell at you. This is our real house. This is our real house. And then garlic chili.
Yeah, that's it.
And then wontons. Oh, let me grab you the spatula. Hot.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good.
Perfect. Let me see. This soup is literally a 10 out of 10. Don't you agree? Mm-hmm. It's one of our favorites. You guys should totally try this. Got more wonton? After everyone is kind of doing their own thing, I do work on more YouTube content throughout the day. What would be some recommended changes or whatever that would help attract? Hey, buddy.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm filling up water.
I love you, buddy.
He loves you? Oh, Pumpkin, why are you wet? Why are you wet? Oh, Blue, why are you wet? I didn't get the memo. Wyatt actually always does the night chores and brings the cow in and feeds and waters her and then brings in some wood. So none of this is out of the ordinary as far as help. Hi, Peaches. Peaches. You already kissed the camera today. Come on, inside. Let's go. Worst case scenario. It snows and I have to run the tractor. He is so skilled and the snowpack is so important. But if I have to run it, we'll run it. We'll deal.
Oh.
Would you look at all that fresh snow? We woke up to additional several inches of snow. I've already taken Wyatt to school on this morning, already heated up and cleaned off the truck once. I've got to head back to the off-grid cabin in Willow because for sure this time it is going to need a charge. And so I decided I would meet some of my YouTube buddies out there at the cabin. We had a little meet and greet with a couple of other YouTube channels. I'll link them in the description box if you happen to be interested. Here we go. Come here, little boy. It's a real good thing I brought a shovel. Update, it's beeping because it needs to run. It needs charge. It's at 50.5 volts and it started beeping at 51, but that's fine. We're not close to being shut off here. So I gotta start the generator and then worry about snow. That was my bad. Oh, jump, Blue. I've never stayed the night alone by myself in ever, like since birth, because I had kids at 20 and I moved out from my parents' house at 18, in with friends and so on. And I knew I was going to be alone tonight, like literally alone. And I called Aaron last night and I was like, I've never stayed alone. I have the dogs, but Wyatt's at Regions and Cody's at a friend's, and so you know what he did? It is 11 o'clock at night and he's 38 miles away. He drove all the way here from Fairbanks so that I didn't have to stay the night alone. So because I went and got one more load of wood, loaded the night fire, so that the man doesn't have to worry about anything except for going to bed. So it's the least I can do for someone willing to drive 6 hours at night after working all day so that his wife doesn't have to sleep alone. Side note, the only reason I'm comfortable sharing this day in the life is by the time anyone watches this, Aaron and Caleb are home. So all said and done, our houses are no longer abandoned and our family is together. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.